Good morning, Dan. How the hell are you? Yeah, I barely recognize you. Your batleth is gone. Everything's changed. Have we gone from one sports season to another season? You're not wearing a team hat at the moment. I'm confused. I don't know. How did Helene affect you? My power flickered here. I'm on the Atlantic coast of Florida, so it didn't really affect us. But I think it was barreling toward you at one point. That's good. That's good. No, well, so much has happened. In the month or so we've been away, I think we've probably received our Tales of the Valiant loot. We've received possibly the Game Master's Guide for TOV. The Player's Handbook has come out to the masses. So uh, uh, the disenfranchised like myself finally got our copy. I know you got yours at Gen Con, Mr. Fancy. Oh, so you got the Gen Con one, and now you have the fancy cover too. That's right. Have you cracked open either of them yet? Okay, good. Sweet. And your character, you're playing a level 5 character? And what did you do that was different for your character? Do you recall what you had to tweak? Because you're a fighter. Yeah, I love it. Look, they're not plain old anymore. they they got a little more spice. Awesome. If you didn't do it that way, are they local to you? Because that would amazing. Like somehow that's amazing. Are you going to have the Fez? Are you dungeon mastering, or are you a player for that? All right. They'll have to earn it. Are you playing D&D or Tales of the Valiant or Shadow Dark or something? That's lovely. That's amazing. I love that. What a world. He pays a dungeon master to come to his house. That's amazing. I didn't know that was a thing. I love it. You do house calls? Is that great? it's it's got to be like babysitting in a way, right? Babysitters get what? I don't know what do you pay babysitters nowadays? 10, 20 bucks an hour? Yeah. So you're at least they don't even know the rules. right. Right, right. 4-hour game, $60. Really? Wow. Wow, wow. There's a I know a few people. Well, I don't know them. I know of them online. I occasionally, see them on the various social medias, and they're like that's what they do. They might have another side gig, or they've got a partner who's brings in like the health insurance and some of that stuff. But they're basically freelance DMs, and they do stuff like Curse of Strahd because there's always demand for people to do stuff like that, which is amazing. It's going to be a thing 8 years from now. No, you're going to be CEO of Catacombs and Comedians. Incorporated, franchising this your actual play. Maybe you come in as the voice of God occasionally. Sweet, sweet. Do they have a launch date? Gosh. So I know we got Gamehole Con on the horizon. I've seen your social media barrage of amazing merch. But do you want to cover any of the backstory of the last month? How the Catacombs and Comedians live shows have gone, or anything like that? Fantastic. And how's the DM doing? You put on your player hat for that one, right? Oh wow, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Nice that that's not coming out of your pocket like it was. Yeah, you're a shoe in. I love that. I love that. So when you're so for the longest time you got the Fez, you're doing double duty as MC and DM. So with putting on the player hat, do you still function as MC for the dungeon master to kind of introduce him, or you basically you dump all on that all you're putting all that on his shoulders, and you just kind of you're bringing your pencil and your player character sheet, and that's all you need. Nice. Is he comfortable with your props? All the various oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, yeah. Right. And you're batting cleanup. That's awesome. Hot damn. Wow. Oh, they own the improvs. Wow. Okay, okay. Right, right. That's awesome. You always talked you always came out of that Huntsville show jazzed. Yeah. Hot damn. Really? I was gonna ask. That's awesome. That's awesome. How far away is that from you? How are you getting? Okay, right. That's awesome. Yes. Yes, yes. No one with money will be at your event. Fantastic. Just bat lifts everywhere. Fantastic. Excellent. Awesome. Oh yeah, I love. I probably click love or like or whatever on that repeatedly. A long time ago, I tried to see if I could get the domain name for Necrocomic-Con, and it's been there's a convention in Europe called Necrocomic-Con. Gibberish. Oh, so it's a font, and you so it does say something. Lovely. That's great. Yeah. Sure, sure. Yeah, that's kind of a requisite. So that's awesome. That's amazing. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Congratulations. I was so excited. So you not only the chips, you have your orbs of insanity. Is again the title of that was right? Oh, sorry. I'm conflating my Cthulhu and my yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Amazing. I love it. Love it. Do those orbs play into your adventure? That's, of course they Oh, it's right to me. It looks love aioli, yeah. All right. I thought you were gonna say, and there'll be sandwiches for the players. You're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. You're awesome. You're awesome. Fantastic. Smart. Yeah, what's the elevator pitch? Excellent. What vendor did you find for the stickers? Okay, sweet. He who shall not be named. Yeah, sure. Oh, those that's beautiful. Those look great. Do you have the pins just themselves as maybe something to get your pin community to come over and get? Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna watch you. It's like me getting into the gaming space from comics. It's like suddenly you're going to be the pin guy. You're like, yeah, you're good at it. Not only are you good at it, it doesn't. It is there's no editing. There's no there's no slogging through walls of text and laying out books. It's just you get to do your design and go straight to product, which and you're so good at it. Cool, cool. Cool. Is there a do they say here are three or four? Do you feel like there's a good fit? How do they choose your partner? How do you Oh, so the two of you come together as a package and you say we'd like to partner up. That's great. That's great. I was wondering how that gets done too. Now, when you do the cross promotion, is it a single pin that the two of you collaborate on and fund together, or if you both strike your goal, you throw in a bonus and they throw in a bonus? Wow, that's great. That's pretty great. Right, 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 right. They take up space. They take up so much space. Right, right. So love it, love it, love it. That's great. Really. So what you're going to be manning your exhibit hall booth from on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's amazing. Are you bringing any assistants this time around? Mhm. And how do you plan to handle that? Are you going to cover it with a cloth, ask a neighbor to watch it, or are you going to bag everything up and leave postcards and tchotchkes on the table? Under the table. Gotcha. 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 It's not a merch. It's you're not a vendor. It's more like you're a, and the merch will be made basically your zines and your books, pirate tales, and or no or not really any merch at all. It's good. That's it. That kind of cut. That's it. That you don't want to be dealing with money. Gotcha. I wasn't sure if you even wanted to deal with money over the weekend. Jangling everywhere you go. That's amazing. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Like, just quarters. Wow. Yeah. Did arcades have were they was it just all quarters? Wow, I don't recall that. But there must have been, right? There was no need for nickels. Heck yeah. Wow. 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 Do you have any is it I think that's on my bucket list. At one point or another, I bought a Pengo arcade game. By the way, the Pengo arcade game, it turns out historically, its historical footnote is that it's the heaviest of all the cabinets, made with the most timber or whatever. But that's kind of on my bucket list now. At some point, when I move to a bigger place, is to get one of those replicades or icades or whatever they are. Just get a because you can't get, I don't want to spend an arm and a leg for one of the actual ones. And also, if you have to repair them, you're kind of screwed. But I would love to get just a, I don't know, something about standing up and playing the game versus nice. The specific one? Really? Of course, you know all about it. Have you been lingering on the website? You have a taped out area in your office where it's going to go. Amazing. Is it a go? Are you going to go get it? Uh huh. Gotcha. Uh huh. Uh huh. I get you. 24,000 quarters will get you there. Patreon bonus, right? Oh, that's wonderful. Hot damn. That's great. That's wonderful. That's awesome. You're stacking things on top of that resin printer of yours, right? That You're awesome. Mhm. That's awesome. That's very awesome. I have only one new book for then. I'm hoping that I can get the Nibblemancy PDF out. The biggest thing for me was this month, last month, just maybe 2, 3 weeks ago, getting the Player's Handbook 2024. I really wanted to have that in my hands and read through Wizards, and everything about crafting, and as much as I could figure out and incorporate it into the rules. I know. So Nibblemancy, for those who don't know, is a Kickstarter I did 3 months, 4 months ago, and really want to have it out before now, but I want to bulletproof it against all the stuff that's happening to 5e. Because when I was pitched it, 5e, there's only one version of it, and there's still only one SRD for 5e. But I don't know how Ghostfire Games is going to have a Kickstarter that says it's compatible with 2024 when there's no 2024 SRD yet, unless they're just counting on, fingers crossed, that the new version of the 5e SRD comes out. But or if they're just assuming that you just take the other systems into account. So I'm taking Tales of the Valiant into the account. I'm taking, because the next campaign my group plays. Well, I have a group of friends from college who we play. And we're doing Tales of the Valiant. The dungeon master is like, I'm not going to wait for Player's Handbook and the new monster manual and all that, the new DMG. He wants to go straight to TOV. So that's what we're doing. And so trying to create a subclass that works for 5e 2014, 5e 2024, Tales of the Valiant, and kind of where I've landed on that is basically saying, if you're going to play this subclass, ignore everything else. Follow the rules in this book. And that means that this book, unlike the 3 previous subclass books, has a level by level guide, not telling you what to do, how to spend points. I've seen subclass guides like that. I don't micromanage their game, but I want them telling them that, you're going to get your ability score improvement here. I don't care what TOV says. I don't care what 2024 says. At level, also, this is a weird subclass because it really overwrites a lot of things. The idea is Nibblemancy is a cooking-based wizard subclass. The main change to this is that it's constitution based. What intelligence is for regular wizards, constitution is for these guys. Because I like the idea of being a hearty wizard and also maybe being a dumb wizard. Because all wizards are basically Reed Richards. If you're not stacking intelligence, you're doing it wrong. So I wanted somebody who could be like, I've got a 14 intelligence and still be a perfectly fine wizard, perfectly capable wizard, and you're not doing it wrong. So anyway, I've been rewriting it and rewriting. You can see how I'm like, it's taken over. It's rewriting my brain. So the PDF will hopefully go out by then. I won't have Nibblemancy, the book, by the time that show rolls around, but I will have the 3 books, Intoximancy, Death Dealing, and the Player's Handbook. I have a whole bunch of new minis to bring. That's the only show I've done well with minis. I've tried them at other conventions. I love them because they weigh very little in my luggage. Or for shipping, but I brought them to Baltimore. I think I sold one. They took up way too much space given how many I sold. And also have new versions of the Middle Age Volume 3, which again at Baltimore did very well. I'm not going to bring artwork. I'm not going to do commissions. That's Matthew Sargent's, and that's his realm. I don't think people come to me for commissions. But I'm focusing on that stuff, and hopefully I'll have another Kickstarter running at that time, like you, to promote. But it all depends on Nibblemancy. I don't like starting a Kickstarter till the previous one is out the door. So, but I may talk it up. So at the very least, I'll talk it up and point people to the sign up sheet. Oh yeah. And I got the domain name months and months ago. So hopefully it'll get, you're absolutely right. I can set up the Kickstarter landing page. And Kickstarter changed how they do their landing pages. They're much more full-bodied. That's amazing. It used to be, here's an image, here's your name, that's it, and title, headline and subheadline. Now you get to put in the full description and include some pieces of artwork, which is a whole thing. So maybe I'll get that landing page up. At a minimum, that's a good idea. Uh-huh. Yeah. Probably did. Oh yeah, sure. Sure. Gotcha. Gotcha. Cave geek art. It will feel good if I can do that in the context of here's your PDF. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So it's in crunch time to get that done. It feels very good. There's lots of stuff in here, like order up is an ability that the Nibblemancers have, which is you say you give your team an order, and if they use their reaction to say yes, chef, they get 1d4 on their next whatever they do. And that to me, that I just like the idea that you have a table full of people interacting that way. It's not here's your turn, here's your turn. So I don't know. And also, no one thinks of wizards as a support class, and so this is a really weird thing, and it feels thematic. And I don't know. I don't know if anyone's gonna like it. But I'm having a blast. So that's been on my plate. And I'm sorry. This will be the fourth. Yeah, that would be phenomenal. There's a guy who mentioned that as a I forget his name, but he was like, "Oh, you need to do a martial class." So he wanted to do it at this Game Hole Con. I really would have liked to have done the martial. The next one I do will be a fighter subclass. But that's another one where I'm like, I definitely have to dig into 2024 because it doesn't rewrite the character class as much. But it is still something like I have to make the subclass tempting. So you don't want power creep, but you want it to be a thing because I know most players don't care about the Intoximancer being a very powerful wizard, but there are definitely some people who go, "This is such a liability. It's adorable, but it's such a liability. I'd rather be a plain vanilla wizard, or I'd rather be an a Nibblemancer. Who knows?" So making it powerful or giving it power is important, but I'd rather it be kind of flavorful and not simply an I win button that makes a dungeon master's life any more difficult. Hell yeah. That would that would be amazing. That would be amazing. How do we recruit people, or should I just open it up to the people who've already created? No, there's no way. How would okay, okay. What am I talking about? This is your Bellywick. Wait, Bellywick. That's a monster. Um, that sounds great. Hilarious. Hilarious. That's great. Yeah, you are. Yeah, no, I love that. I also love that there's an Ed. That it's Ed. There's a few people who are just. It's all you need. That's all you need. Hmm, love it. Wait, did you hint about the name of this already? I love that you have as much trouble following all the stuff you're doing as I do. I love this. Okay. I feel guilty. I'm like, how if I get the name of a project wrong, or like I'm like, boy, there's so much stuff. The orbs of insanity. I love it. Okay. I don't know if you did. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. Gotcha. That's smart. Yeah, I got put on the. I did not get in. They put me on a. There's like 100. They said 120 people are on the waiting list or something like that. Okay, okay, that's very sweet. And I looked into EggCon just as because I'm like I got to look at all of them. I'm just in the wrong part of the country. I think yeah, since everything for me is a massive hike to get anywhere. Yeah, you you're not going to convince the missus to move to Wisconsin. Fair enough. I didn't want to. With all the stuff you got going, I didn't want to. Really. I also found out the information to ship it directly there. I trust you way more than the receiving people at the convention center. You're a mensch. You're a mensch. Yeah, because it's still casting a wide net. Catacombs and comedians, catacombs and creators, pirate tales audiobooks, uh Cthulhu, Shadow Dark, 4D20. It is a I'm missing a Pintopia. I knew I was missing a few things. You got the Zoops going. You got all these things, all this stuff, and I'm like, uh, I don't know how you do it. I try to stay in one lane, and I find that overwhelming. I don't know how you do it. It's more, yeah. It's a war rig. It's absolutely a Mad Max Fury Road war rig. Uh huh. Absolutely, 100%. Cirque du Soleil bouncing back and forth, throwing spears. That's fantastic. It's awesome. I'm so happy for you, uh, and damn, I'm proud of you. Uh, Fat Jacks, is that what it's called? What is it? I don't care about the rest of the show. Although there was a I actually signed up to play a game one morning. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play some D&D. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's got to be before we put on our uh yeah. It's a one of those 50th anniversary. Yours is when? I think mine's Friday. Yeah, I looked at some on Thursday, but I thought I'm going to be panicking about setting up before the hall opens. I'm going to be I'll be no good. I'll be no good. I'll be no good on Friday too. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. That was fun. Even a short stream. Although who knows how all this new system works? But yeah, that was adorable. from your booth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's all. Hell yeah. Uh-huh. I just love that we talked about all the different things you do, and you say, "Oh yeah, and here's this podcast series." It's like I'm just imagining the war rig, just one more bit, three, three more guys with spears jumped on board, yelling, "Witness me!" That's awesome. I mean, everything's in terms of how many Jaws pinball machines. She wants a pontoon boat. That's awesome. How close are you to a? Okay, that's awesome. And now it's pontoon boat. You're imagining a pontoon boat that has like a Jaws pinball machine on it. Fantastic. Amazing. Wow, that's fantastic. And you suddenly have 4 tracks at GaryCon, and that's suddenly like you're on their radar. That's awesome. That's great. But you're not exhibiting there. You're just going there as a dress. Sure. That's yep. Yep. Right. Like that is a it's a benchmark. I'd say you're going to be like, okay, I got invited as a guest. But I'm still paying my airfare and paying my I'm still paying for my hotel room. Okay, okay, okay. Now I got to move to the next level. I got to be invited to be on Dimension 20 or something like that. Or yeah, it seems like you're doing the right thing because there's also And it was good for Gamehole Con because that puts you on the map in their world. Oh no, I take it all back. One of the things people inside an industry really respect is people from outside their industry. As creators within comics, bird, 20-year-old kids coming up in the ranks as doing comics, people saw us as they're just like everybody else, just people in the ranks, wannabes. But having success in comics, editing, you editing Transformers in comics, they go, okay, outside of comics, really? Outside of comics, they're like, dude, really? Go on. That's prestige. It's like Darwin Cook had to be successful outside of comics. He tried inside comics, it didn't work. He left comics, and they welcomed him back in when he was a success outside of it. No, but it's a thing where it is. Well, you're going to do it. You probably have the outline for an RPG. Uh, you do. Don't lie to me. I know you. It's like Da Vinci's lab. And I'm sure as you pull back, there's like a half of a flying machine and like a life-size foam core superhero happy hour character sheet with stats in place and like uh, little threads connecting things. Wait, about the word superhero falling in the public. Yeah. Did you really? Your name came up in Baltimore. Paul Story was saying about a project of his, like he didn't want to be in the same because you remember what happened to Dan Taylor? I was like, I do indeed. I do indeed. Yeah. Do you and the goal of being D&D famous is probably not served, because of all the things, all the disparate things we're talking about. Even the pins you mentioned was a way to get familiar with backer kit. It was in service of your RPG goals. And that does not seem to be in service of your RPG goals. At least not yet. Unless your artist is like wants a payday of some kind. Like I forget who your collaborator was. Chris, like so if unless he's hankering to have that thing back in print. Do the original issues, the Superhero Happy Hour 1 and 2, are those sought after rarities because of their no? I would have thought the legal side would have. Do you still sit on a short box of them? You have a short box of them somewhere? Like, wow, that's all. That's great. Yeah, it'd be a thing like, is there a anniversary on the horizon that you'd hit it like 30 years or 25 years? Yeah, okay, you got time. It's Mr. Incredible. I've got time. I've got time. Mhm. Right. If only there were publishers. I don't want to derail us and have us go even longer. I know we started a little late, so we might get some leeway from from our viewer. If, um, but you saw the IDW's page rate thing that was circulating. Yeah, like oof, oof, oof. You're not feeling the rush to come back to comics. You're not feeling that allure. It's a lot of blood and sweat and tears. Right. And it's one of those things where it's like you look at anyone who's got any kind of success, it's like, so what was the thing? I started 8 years ago. That's always the thing. It's like, I hear these guys and they're talking about, oh, don't do this and don't do this and don't do that. I'm like, you started 25 years ago. You have a brand. It's a different scenario for you. For you to go, well, I'm not going to do this or I'm not going to do that or I'm going to do this. It's in the context of that 25-year history. And a person starting anything new to be like, I'll post it on Webtoons. I had people contact me in the last 2 months. I'm going to put my comic on Webtoons. I'm like, okay, good luck. It's not, it's like, I'm going to put it, it's like telling someone, I'm going to put it on YouTube. All right. What did you tell him? It's like, that's the climbing the mountain to get to the master. And I'm telling you, I don't know how to get down. Right. That's amazing. What year was that? That is an early Kickstarter. That people didn't have Kickstarter accounts. You had to explain what Kickstarter was then. That's a different time. Yeah, people didn't know what it was. So that's a different time. Yeah. That's a oh yeah. That was such a different time. Because I think I did my first one for a Bloop collection, and that was in like 2014. Yeah, 2014. Um, when I should have been playing Dungeons and Dragons. And I did that, and at the time people were saying, oh, it's great to be coming in now because we had to, because they had done Kickstarter 5 years earlier, 3 years earlier, and oh, it was a terrible time. It's always like, I don't know, no one's ever in the right time. Wow. No one was ever in the right time. Everyone's in the wrong time at all times. Have you ever seen have you ever did you watch the new Kids in the Hall when it was on Amazon? That starts off with they get to come back because someone is at a yard, one of them is at a yard sale and someone buys a copy of their Brain Candy movie, and we finally made a profit. Like they got $1, and we're finally out of the hole. Oh. Hmm. My goodness. Did you ever see it pop up anywhere? That's amazing. That's evil that they bought the books and wanted to sell them. They want to hostage your oof. That's gross. Did he lower his price at all? I'll take 500. It's your problem now. That's amazing. And again, if there was print on demand 10 years ago, I mean there was, but yeah. And the books back then were laminated and they all bowed. They it was oof oof oof. The real deal. Not anymore. Not at this conversation. That's awesome. But you are, I think that superhero happy hour and hero happy, well, superhero happy hour. Let's get the name's yours again. I think uh, you could be very proud of that. So that's great. That's great. They just were saying they recently did their 500th Star Trek comic. They passed that threshold. I still have like the 2-page short story that was the pitch that we sent to Paramount CBS that Chris Ryle wrote and I drew, and I still have that somewhere. That never saw print. It was just a thing to say a proof of concept. You're inside the industry. If you're Dan Taylor, host of Catacombs and Comedians, the actual play Dungeons and Dragons show, and you pitch a Star Trek series, they'll look at it. You don't want $13 a page or whatever they're paying. Well, but they get us because we love Star Trek. I don't think a lot of people don't work on those properties with no royalties. We do it for the love of the thing, and just so we can add a little bit to the lore, even if it's non-canonical. Yeah, that's awesome. So, were you? That's awesome. Well, so next week, do you think we're going to be able to talk, or are you going to be under the gun because of the looming game hall? Okay, and if it has to be a shorter one because we're both going to be like, gotta get back to work, gotta get back to work. I'm sure. Fair enough. Oh yeah, I was going to talk to you after the stream, after you off the air. But also, I'll by the time we talk next week, I was going to mail the stuff on Monday to the convention center. I'll just mail it to you. That's awesome. All right, man. No, they don't seem to have receiving fees at the convention center. Yeah, it's civilized. Or maybe the convention center just writes that off. Like I know some places actually do that. They're like they pay off the local union to, because as long as the union gets paid, that's all they want. And so sometimes it's just easier and less burdensome to everybody just to write them a big check. I think there's some places that just do that. They're like, the union's just happy to be paid. Right. That's what I had to do. And the thing is that carpeted area in the front of convention center, you can't roll anything across it except baby carriages, which is what made a. I would see people with their little prams, and it's like that's full of comics. You cheating weasels! I love. Fantastic.